What's going on, guys? Welcome to my first video on my channel. I've always been thinking about making a video on my channel, but I just never had time to do it, or I thought it'd be kind of dumb because there are other people out there that's made them. But, I finally decided to do one for the first time, and hopefully it'll go well. So, as you can tell, I have a pretty nice collection of games. I've been collecting since I was about 12, 13. I do remember my first system being a Wii, and then went to the GameCube, and then for the Nintendo 64, and just over time it started to collect, and I said to myself, well, it's something I like doing, might as well just do it. So I could do it on this side for now. So right now I have a shelf. It has 8 systems on it right now. A couple more on my TV over here, and I think I have one over there somewhere. But this just holds the ones for now. Right here, I got a big case you can see. This holds most of my main games I play for the most part. Up here, we got the Xbox 360. Down here, we have the GameCube. The next shelf, we have PlayStation 1. And the next shelf underneath would be the original Nintendo. And you can't see it right now, but the bottom shelf is Sega Genesis. Excuse me. On this side, we have another shelf. Up here is my handhelds, like my Game Boy Color, my PSP. In these couple slots right here, I have my Nintendo 64 collection. Pretty happy about that. I spent a lot of time on it and got a lot of games I've won over the years. Definitely one of my pride and joys of my collection. The shelf underneath, right here, we have sorry about that, the Dreamcast. I don't really collect that for anymore. Too expensive, so I just given up hope on it for now. And next to it, we have the Super Nintendo because it fits right in. And as you can barely see at the very bottom, we have the Xbox original. There's another shelf underneath that you can't see for now. And then over here, we have some of my PlayStation 4 stuff right here. And then the rest of this is all PlayStation 2. And off to the corner, to the side, is my PSP games and my Game Boy games. So that's just a little bit of what I got. For now, I've counted everything I have between what I have here in my Game Boy and my PSP. And as of right now, I stand 630 games for now. Plan on getting more in the future. Some people have told me it's kind of a dumb idea. People have told me it's a cool idea. So, I personally, I think it's whatever you like doing. If it's a hobby, I also like playing basketball. It's also another hobby of mine. So I play that, and on my other times I don't. I play video games. So I think it's just, everybody's different. So I kind of just go with what I feel. So for my first video, I'm going to do a top 10 PlayStation 1 games. Now, these games are my top 10. Some of them may go with other people. Some of them might go with lists that I've already made on YouTube. But this is my personal list. And I better say this now. I know some people are probably going to look at this and be like, oh my gosh, you didn't add Crash Bandicoot. You didn't add this. You didn't add that. You didn't add Final Fantasy. Well, those are all good games. But like I said, this is my top 10. And this is just a bunch of my games that I've played over the years. I remember as being a kid and playing at friends' houses and stuff. So this is just my personal top 10. So, not get me wrong, Crash Bandicoot, Final Fantasy, and all them are good. These are just my top 10 that I remember as a kid. So without further ado, I'll show you number 10. So for number 10, we have a game called Breakout. Now, I bought this game about 3 years ago, and I never really played it that much. But apparently, it's like a version of Breakout on the ColecoVision. And it's a little twist though. Instead of the slider going back and forth for the pinball game, the blocks come at you, and you have to hit the blocks in a certain color because there's a timer on the bottom, and it shows you what color you have to hit in that certain amount of time. So it's more like a puzzle at the same time as a Breakout clone. But I definitely like it, and what makes it cool is that there's also obstacles in the game, so you can have like sheep frogs and stuff get in your way to make it challenging. So it was actually a pretty fun game. I have played it with someone else before, 2-player, and it's actually pretty good, considering it being a quirky little puzzle game. But yeah, that's definitely my top 10 because of all the famous times with friends I've had over the years. So this is definitely number 10. Okay. All right. At number 9, I have a game called Revolt. Another great game. I got this one at a garage sale just last year. It's a RC racer, and basically you play as an RC car, and you go through the streets. Like maybe you go through a neighborhood, or you might go through a playground. Other times you go through like the sewer, and sometimes the city. So it's definitely a fun little challenging RC game. I think, if I remember right, there's 25 cars in the game, and then with a Game Shark, I think there's 50. So I think it's up to 50 cars you can get with the Game Shark, and then 25 without it. So definitely a lot of cars. There's unlockables. There's other. I think there's a puzzle game in this of some kind. I think, if I remember right. Excuse me. And definitely a very fun favorite of mine. I have very fond memories with this one. I think I did beat it. Yeah, and I think there's also 15 or 16 tracks, which is actually a lot for a racing game for PlayStation 1. But yeah, definitely recommend this to anybody who likes racers. Okay. Okay, so at number 8 on my list is another game called Destruction Derby 2. Now, I don't have the first one on the PlayStation. I have it on the 64. But I think the PlayStation 1 version is better, especially the sequel. Basically, it's a car racing game, but it's not any car racing game. You have 6 people facing one direction, and you have 6 people facing the other direction. And basically, you round this whole entire track of whatever shape it is, and you race for fastest lap. But at the same time, you also have to crash into other cars. So it's basically like if you ever played Full Auto, or let's put it this way, yeah, if you ever played Burnout, which is a very famous game on PlayStation 2, another favorite of mine. But you ever played Burnout? It's in that version because you race, but at the same time you have to crash your opponents. You have to crash them into walls. You have to take them out, and to take them out, you earn points. The more points you earn, you go up in the ranks to go first place, and that's the whole point. It's not just about how fast a lap you are or what place you get. It's also how many cars you take down, stunts, tricks, so stuff like that. And then there's also a let's see, it's kind of like a rumble feature where you're in a giant rink, and it's just like, I don't know, packed with like 30 cars, and you just last as long as you can. So there's also that. That was actually pretty fun, but definitely a really fun racer. It's a shame it's only 1 player, because it would be pretty fun on 2-player, but I don't know why they didn't do that. But definitely a fun crashing game. I definitely love this game because I love crashing stuff. So it's one of the things of mine I love. So that's number 8 on my list. Okay. Now, number 7 is a little weird of a title, but it's called Ball Breakers. Now, the title alone just sounds weird to begin with, but let me explain. So basically, you're this dude who gets caught by this army, and the army puts you in a robot suit, as you can tell on the cover, in a robot body. And basically, it's like, let's put it this way: you have swords, guns, rocket launchers. It's basically playing a team deathmatch game on a metal ball in a robot suit. It sounds pretty stupid, but it's actually pretty well made, and it's almost like a boxing game as well, with punches and stuff. So definitely a pretty fun game. I did put a ton of hours into this game, and it definitely has a really good storyline, and also has a very fun multiplayer mode. So that's number 7 on my list. Okay. So, number 6 on my list is another great favorite of mine, and it's Ready to Rumble Boxing. I have put in so many hours into this game. Yeah, I used to play it all the time on the Dreamcast and the Nintendo 64 version. I put in a lot of hours in the PlayStation version. So basically, you choose between 16, sorry, 16 different fighters, and every fighter has their own specific abilities. Like one would be very quick, but his punches are weak, or he has really strong punches, but he's really slow, and so on and so on. Some of them have more health, other ones don't. So it's more of like, what's your style? You like to go for more punches, or you like to take the hits so you can get a good one in. So it's more of that game. It also has a great creator mode. You can create your own fighter, and you can face all 16 characters, rank up your person, make them, customize them basically any way you want. You can name them, and then you go through the game playing as your character. And what's also fun is you have friends. You can play against them with your character, so you can actually make your own character and someone else make their own character and face them off. So that one makes it pretty cool as well. There's a lot of combos in this game. I do remember the highest I ever gotten was 16 hits at once, which is a really hard combination on the controls, which I don't remember at the moment, but I do remember putting in a certain, like hitting them so many times, and it was just a knockout within 5 seconds. So there's a lot of combos, and there's a lot of hidden characters. If you beat the game in certain modes with other characters, you get hidden characters, and I think there's 24 of them, I think. So it's up to 24 fighters in the whole game. So definitely a fun game. I recommend that to people who love fighting games or just want a really funny game, because I just remember just putting the game in just to hear the intro, which I still love the intro. It's definitely one of the favorite parts I love about the game. So if you don't know about it, look it up, Ready to Rumble intro, and you'll see why it's kind of a catchy jingle. So I recommend this game to anybody, and it comes at number 6 on my list. Okay, so coming at number 5 is pretty interesting game, but it's called Croc, The Legend of Gabos. Now, I don't have the cover art for it, as you can tell. I just have the game and the back. That's how I got it. I'm looking for the cover art for it and whatnot, but it's good for now. So basically, you are a baby crocodile, and you're found in a river by the Gabos, which are cute little fuzzy people. If you imagine like a Furby, like a bunch of Furbies, basically. And one of them's a king, and he takes you under your arm. And one day, the bad guys come in, and they take over the kingdom. So obviously, by this time you're grown up, and your name is Croc, funny, and you take back the kingdom. Now, it plays like a Crash Bandicoot Spyro adventure game, kind of. Just that the controls are a little weird. It's not the stick, it's the D-pad, so it feels really weird. But definitely a fun game if you're into Crash or Spyro or in that area, like Mario, like those games. It's definitely one that not many people talk about, and it did come with a sequel, which I do not have, I'm looking for. But it did come with a sequel, and the sequel is actually better. So, definitely a fun little puzzle game. If you want to play something different than Crash or Mario or whatever, it's definitely a good one to have in your collection. So it comes at number 5. Okay, so a next one I have is, I got this recently. I just started playing it, but it's definitely pretty high up there, and it's called Parasite Eve. This is the collector's edition, because it has the disc 1, disc 2, and if I were to take this out, it has a 1998 demo disc for the collector's edition. It has Xenogears, looks like Final Fantasy, and a couple other demos. So it's pretty cool. So basically, you play as a girl, and I forget her name. I think it's Ava, I think, or Eva, something like that. And you're at a theater, and obviously stuff happens. People take over, monsters come in. It's like it's from the creators of Resident Evil. So you can imagine zombie-like creatures, fighting, guns, ammo, yada yada yada, storyline, So it's like one of those, but it has a nice RPG element. So it's like playing Resident Evil, just with an RPG element put in, like Final Fantasy or Skyrim. So, so you play as a girl, Ava. Hope I'm saying her name right. I forget what her name is right at the moment, so I hope I'm saying it right. But he plays Ava, and basically another girl is evil, and she's the monster. So you can see on the cover, right on this side right here. And I don't really know what. I think they're connected somehow, but I don't know. I haven't got really far in it yet. But it's basically a scary RPG of Resident Evil. That's basically the whole point of this game. But it's better than Resident Evil, but I wouldn't put it higher than Resident Evil because Resident Evil is obviously a favorite series of mine. So it's definitely high up there. I recommend to people who haven't played it yet. This game can go pretty pricey. I'm just lucky I found it. I found it at $10 at my game store. But this game can go up to anywhere from 20 to more, depending on what version. And luckily, I have the collector's version, which apparently goes for like $50, depending on condition wise. So I got pretty lucky. So definitely happy I have this. I have been looking for it, and they have made a sequel, which actually is worth more. So I never know. I might find in the wild someday. So definitely recommend this to anybody. And this comes at number 4. Okay, so coming in at number 3 is Army Men Air Attack. Now, it's, everybody knows Army Men, green against tan, who wins, So basically this game, you're playing as Green Team, or Green Army, whatever you want to call them. I call them Green Team when I was a kid, so it's just stuck with me. But anyway, so you play as the Green, and basically the whole game is you in their different weapons. Like the tank, helicopter, maybe a jeep, and I think there's a ship in this one as well. But basically, it plays. If you ever played Crimson Skies or any airplane games, it's like that. It's fun. It feels a little weird at first. The controls are a little sloppy, but you can get used to after playing it for about half hour. So I like it. Maybe not people most like it because it's an Army Men game, and people are like, "Oh, I'm 50 years old. Why would I play Army Men?" Well, I'm 20 and I'm playing Army Men, so they're not wrong with that. So definitely fun. I recommend it to anybody. Probably gonna put more hours into this one because I think there's a hidden mode in this, and I heard it's pretty good. So and I think there's UFOs in this one as well, which is actually pretty interesting. So I recommend this at number 3. Okay. Come up almost the end of my list here. Number 2 is a personal favorite of mine. I love this game to death, and it's Spider-Man for PlayStation. Now, I played the original on the Dreamcast version, and I remember that one being really fun. Well, I don't have that anymore, which I don't know why, but I do now have the PlayStation 1 version, and if anyone who's a fan of Spider-Man knows that Spider-Man is legitimately awesome, and I've been a fan of Spider-Man for goodness knows how long. So basically the same thing. You're Spider-Man, you take down bad guys, and you learn that there's a secret. I'm not really sure how it goes, but I think it goes something of like something about a missile. Trying to make one, and you have to stop it, but all the villains are trying to stop you. It's kind of like one of those. It's like in that direction. And your number 1 villain is Venom, which is in it, and you take down Venom, which is pretty cool because I never got to see. Like, I don't know who Venom was until like I don't know, until like 8 years ago. I was like, who the heck is Venom? So playing this game, I realized, oh, that's Venom. That's what everyone talks about him. So it was pretty cool to see him for the first time. He is really weird looking, but that's just me. He's pretty funny actually at times, but point being is pretty good. Introduced Spidey sense, which is actually pretty cool because you could be sitting on the side of a building and hit Spidey sense, and Spider-Man will look up and look around, and if you see something happening, it will zoom in right to where he is, where that person is, or enemy, or whatever it is, maybe an item or whatever. So it's for the most part, it's free roam. That's all I really know at this point. I haven't played it in a long time. It's been kind of sitting on my shelf, collecting dust. So I probably will end up playing it again in the future sometime. So Spider-Man is number 2 on my list. Alright, so the last game. Now, this game I had trouble with depending on this game or another one. Because I didn't know which one would come first. But, you know, being a fan of this series, I had to have it in my top 10. I probably played this game more than any game I have in my whole collection the longest time. Maybe since I was like 8, I was playing this. Maybe I shouldn't have, but I did anyway. And definitely recommend it to anybody. And that would be the Twisted Metal series. As you can tell, I have all 4 Twisted Metals on the PlayStation 1. I am missing the book for the first one and the 4th one, but I do have all the discs and stuff. Twisted Metal has been a huge favorite game, or games of mine. I've played Twisted Metal all my life. Never once have I ever regretted playing them. Because, you know, like I said, I'm that person who likes to blow stuff up, I like to shoot stuff, and I like to race. So those are my 3 main points. So why have a game that has all 3 in that? You race, you blow up, and you shoot stuff. So I had to have it in my collection. All 3 games have a storyline. The first one is just basically you just blowing up stuff. You choose from, I think, 12 characters, and I think there's 3 hidden ones. There's not really much of a storyline to it yet, but it has a somewhat of a storyline. The second one, which is probably my favorite, because I've put more hours into any of these, has the original characters from the first one, plus a couple extra, and then there's 2 secrets, and then this one when it starts to show the storyline of the game. 3, I haven't really put in time to much into 3, but basically, all the characters are different except for, like, one of them. They add the 2 secret ones in from the second one, so now they're playable as characters with their own storyline. And this one kind of shows of more of who Sweet Tooth is, which is the person on the cover. And then the last one is the 4th one. I haven't put much into this, but it basically explains how Sweet Tooth became Sweet Tooth. And it's pretty cool, because it shows how the villain becomes the villain, and you play as the villain. And, you know, obviously then there's henchmen, and there's actually boss levels in this, which is actually interesting. So, definitely not bad, considering it being kind of old. So, definitely recommend it to a lot of people. So number 1 on my list is the Resident Evil series on the PlayStation, which I'll do like this. Okay. So, I'll go back real quick, and I will show what everything is. So at number 10 was Breakout. Number 9 was Revolt. Number 8 was Destruction Derby 2. Number 7 is Ball Breakers. Number 6 is Ready to Rumble Boxing. Number 5 is Croc, The Legend of Gabos. Number 4 is Parasite Eve. Number 3 is Army Men Air Attack. Number 2 is Spider-Man. And number 1 is the Resident Evil, the Twisted Metal series. Sorry about that. So anyway, so that's for my top 10 videos for PlayStation 1. I'm planning on doing more. I might upload one tomorrow. I'm not really sure right now. But, you know, doing it for the first time. You know, I hope I did pretty good. But, you know, definitely like, comment, subscribe. I'll definitely make more in the future. I might have a friend come in from time to time and do a special guest. And do that and have him help me choose which ones are good and whatnot. And we'll probably do that. So, until next time, guys, I will see you all in the next video. See you later.